address you today at this important national capacity building program convened to strengthen the implementation and enforcement of the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank. The theme of this program, strengthening institutional compliance and academic records integrity, goes to the very heart of our education reform agenda. Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank is not merely a technology platform. It is a strategic national infrastructure designed to secure, standardize, digitize, and authenticate academic records across post-secondary and tertiary institutions in Nigeria. It represents the federal government's firm commitment to education data ownership, zero tolerance to academic fraud, and the preservation of our national academic history. With the approval of the Federal Executive Council, Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank was established as a digitalization vehicle of the Nigeria education sector, with a mandate that includes the administration of national credential numbers, the National Credential Verification Service, the National Student Clearinghouse, and a federated repository of academic tests and abstracts, and a national academic publication and indexing database. Within just 4 months of enforcement, Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank has curated and preserved close to 100,000 digital student submissions that might otherwise have been lost to obscurity. Over 350 universities, polytechnics, monotechnics, and colleges of education have been onboarded for real-time credentialing verification. More than 133,000 students and over 6,800 lecturers are now enrolled on the platform, supported by over 655 focal persons nationwide. In addition, through collaboration with Nigeria Digital Entrepreneurs, Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank has established over 1,000 digital service centers across the country, creating over 3,000 jobs in just less than 24 months. Let me emphasize that education is a covenant between the state and its citizens. When a certificate is issued, it's not merely paper. It is a national guarantee that due process was followed and standards were upheld. That guarantees that is only as strong as the integrity of our record-keeping system. You heard just before President Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to government, there was a whistleblower that really reported about Nigerians going to Republic of Benin, some people getting PhD certificates as in just 6 months. Universities that never existed. Universities in one-room apartment. There were million certificates. And these people were coming back to get jobs that you should have gotten. What happened? You created a disequilibrium in the education system. But today, I can report to you that we moved quickly as a government. Based on the present directive, we did full investigations that has been put to a complete stop. And all of those people that got those illegal certificates have all been thrown out of our civil service, public service. This is why it's extremely important we protect the integrity of the certificates that are issued by our schools. To further promote academic excellence, I've approved the establishment of the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank Annual National Laureate Prize and Awards Program, which will reward outstanding undergraduate, master's, and doctoral theses with prices ranging from 5 million to 20 million naira. The maiden edition will hold in November of this year. It is important to clarify that while Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank compliance is now a prerequisite for participation or exemption from the National Youth Service Corps, enforcement extends beyond NYSC. Agencies such as TED Fund, the National University Commission, the National Board for Technical Education, the National Colleges of Education, and the Industrial Training Fund, as well as all accredited institutions, are now mandated to ensure compliance as a condition for accessing their services. Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank. A reform is therefore a reform instrument anchored on transparency, traceability, and accountability. The National Credential Verification Service component will maintain a national digital footprint of every academic award obtained in accredited Nigerian institution. We will aggressively enforce compliance to end credential falsification and eliminate disputes over academic records. To our Nigerian Education Repository Data Bank focal officers, record officers, and digitalization officers, you are custodians of institutional credibility. The diligence with which you carry out your work, which includes uploading records, determine the trust employers, foreign institutions, and regulatory bodies place on Nigeria on qualifications issued by a Nigeria institution. Let me be clear, compliance with national standard is not optional. It is statutory. To protect institutional autonomy, the federal government approved that 40% profit sharing from the credential verification services reverts back to the institution of origin. Although the Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank is federally owned, it is collectively beneficial and participatory in nature. I commend the integration of practical demonstration in this training, dashboard walkthroughs, record uploads, verification management, and compliance workflow. Reform must not remain theoretical. It must be operational. Let me reiterate, the federal government has directed all relevant regulatory bodies to align with and enforce the Nigeria Education Repository Data Bank policies. Institutions must adhere strictly to compliance timelines, establish robust internal verification systems, designate competent personnel, and prioritize continuous digital capacity development. Furthermore, in line with local content regulations, only nationally developed applications should be procured for ICT-related services within our institutions. This fits into Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Nigerian First Initiative. Today, we have hundreds of thousands of Nigerians, young Nigerians, extremely smart people, creative, innovative. They're building amazing technological platforms. I, as a Minister of Education, I challenge myself that the only platform that will deploy from the Federal Ministry of Education to the platform built by Nigeria in this country. It would contradict national interest to ignore what we fully own in favor of foreign alternatives. Again, this fits into President Bola Ahmed Tinubu Nigerian First. We are the only one that can help in create markets for our own products. That is what other nations are doing. It's not about protectionism. It's about patriotism and helping to unleash a value chain that creates opportunities for everyone, for our children, and the yet unborn generation to come. The future of Nigeria education is data-driven, transparent, and digitally verifiable. The question is not whether this transformation will occur, it is whether we will lead it with discipline and rigor. And I can promise you today, we're doing just that. We're leading this transformation with all the vigor, the energy, the determination, and the patriotism in us. Let history record this generation of education administrators choose integrity over convenience, structure over disorder, and accountability over ambiguity. To Nigeria Education Repository and Data Bank, future generations will inherit immutable and inviolable records of this era. Together, we shall build an education system whose records are trusted, whose credentials are respected, and whose graduates are globally competitive. Thank you all for being here. I know you've all been here since morning. May God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.